Want to know how to get protein from plant foods? Well, in this video, I'm sharing 10 foods that are rich in plant protein. While in the US, the majority of people are getting enough protein, according to the minimum recommendations, protein is a popular nutrient, and for a good reason. First off, protein is a macronutrient, which means that we need to eat a large amount of this nutrient to thrive. And eating enough and a variety of protein is essential to support your body in creating thousands of proteins that perform functions within your body, such as growing and repairing tissues, building enzymes that support your digestion, blood clotting, and muscle contractions, and also hormones that act as messengers to communicate between cells. Proteins are also responsible for transporting nutrients like vitamins, minerals, sugar, cholesterol, and oxygen. And if necessary, protein can also be used to supply your body with energy, although it's not the preferred source of fuel. So protein is a really important nutrient for your body and for your health. And when you include protein-rich foods in your meals, you're also going to up the satiety factor, which is going to leave you feeling fuller for longer. Now, protein is found in both animal and plant-based food sources. And one question I get asked often is it possible to meet your protein needs with plant-based proteins? Another way to ask it is, if you're not eating animal-based foods, how are you going to meet your protein needs? And while it's true that animal-based foods are rich in protein, another truth is that it is possible for you to meet your needs with plant-based protein foods. And including these plant-based proteins isn't just for vegans or for vegetarians. Everyone could benefit from adding plant-based protein-rich foods to their diet. And while a protein deficiency for a vegan or vegetarian eating pattern is possible, it's actually not super common, because with a bit of insight, you'll be able to create well-balanced, plant-forward meals with or without animal-based proteins that meets your protein needs with ease. This is because plant-based proteins provide every single amino acid that your body needs. That's one of the wonderful features of plants. Plant-based sources of protein also offer a variety of nutrients like fiber, which isn't found in animal-based sources of protein like chicken, fish, beef, pork, or dairy. And of course, micronutrients too, like vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. While the amount of protein in each plant food is going to vary based on that individual food, eating this wide variety of plant foods and the proper quantity is going to provide your body with the protein that you need to perform these everyday functions. So to get you started, here are 10 plant-based protein-rich foods and how you can eat them. Number 1, tofu. Tofu is made from soybeans that have been ground and pressed into a cube. And tofu comes in a variety of textures, from extra firm, which is a denser tofu, to silken, which is almost like a smooth yogurt-like consistency. This makes tofu a super versatile plant-based protein. You can eat it raw, pan-fried, baked, breaded. You could also add tofu to dips, spreads, or smoothies. It does have a subtle taste. However, tofu is kind of a chameleon where you can marinate it, you can season it, you can add a sauce, and it's really going to take on those flavors. Probably the biggest complaint I hear about tofu is the texture. However, you can adjust the texture by freezing it to give it a more chewy consistency. You can also crumble it or cut it into smaller diced pieces for a more enjoyable texture. Number 2, tempeh. Tempeh is another type of soy-based food that's been fermented, and it creates a really unique texture and almost nutty flavor. Tempeh is full of plant-based protein. It has 15 grams of protein in just half a cup, and this makes for a wonderful plant-based alternative to animal-based protein sources, especially for on a sandwich, or if you crumble it and add it to a stuffed pepper mix with rice, or you can also pan fry it and then add it as a protein to your salad. Number 3, lentils. Lentils are an edible seed of the legume family, and they have about 17 grams of protein per cup. They're filled with micronutrients like potassium, magnesium, zinc, B vitamins, and non-heme iron. And one really nice feature of lentils is how easy and quick they cook. The split orange lentils in particular are just one of my favorite kinds of lentils, and they only take about 5 minutes to cook. My lemony red lentil soup is bright and it's so warming. I'm going to link the recipe for you in the show notes below. And lentils in general are just excellent in soup, salads, veggie patties, and nourish bowls. Number 4, chickpeas. Chickpeas are an excellent source of plant-based protein with 14 grams of protein per cup. They also offer potassium and magnesium, and they're wonderful in a curry, in soup, in hummus, in a salad with cucumbers, olives, and onion. You could also make a smashed chickpea salad, which is like the plant-based form of chicken salad. So chickpeas are really delicious roasted as a snack as well. Number 5, nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is an inactive form of yeast that's then fortified with vitamins and minerals, and it has about 8 grams of protein per fourth of a cup. It's a good source of B vitamins, especially vitamin B12, and you can usually find it in the baking aisle where they keep the active baker's yeast, although this is a type of yeast that you're not going to use to bake bread. Instead, nutritional yeast can be added to soups, dips. I like to add it to pesto or when I'm making cashew cheese, or sprinkle it on kale if you're making kale chips. It's also nice in a omelet or scrambled eggs or on pasta for that cheesy flavor. Number 6, green peas. Green peas are a no-fuss veggie and they're packed with nutrition. Just 1 cup has 9 grams of protein, and then you can pair it with other plant-based protein sources like whole grain pasta, or maybe you want to make a nutritional yeast-based sauce. So while peas are often overlooked, they are very accessible. You probably have a bag in your freezer right now that you might have used to ice your knee, but I promise you they will be even better in your next pasta dish. So if you haven't tried them in a while, it might be worth giving them another chance. Number 7, hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are a super easy and convenient source of plant-based protein. They have 9 grams of protein per 3 tablespoons, and they also have a healthy serving of omega-3 fatty acids, which is very good for your heart health. So these tiny seeds have a nutty flavor, which makes them perfect for oatmeal, for smoothies. I like them blended in soups. You can add them or sprinkle them onto salads, and also in baked goods like breads or crackers or muffins too. Number 8, almonds. So almonds are a crunchy and delicious nut that has 7 grams of protein per 1/4 of a cup, and they're also a really good source of healthy fats, which helps to lower inflammation, reduce insulin resistance, and it promotes healthy blood vessels too. Almonds make for a delicious snack when you pair them with fruit. They also add this lovely crunch to rice dishes, to cereals, and to salads. And of course, you can have them as a butter, like almond butter, and spread it onto apples, or use it as part of a sauce, like an almond butter-based sauce. And you can also use ground almonds in a flour for baking purposes. Number 9, oats. While oats aren't the highest protein source of the whole grains, which would come from less commonly consumed grains in our Western diet, like amaranth or spelt or teff, but that doesn't mean that oats don't count. Just a 1/2 cup of rolled oats contains 5 grams of protein, which might not sound like a lot, but when you pair them with chia seeds and almonds and soy milk, which also provide plant-based protein, then this combination easily turns into a protein-rich plant-based meal that's also filled with fiber and vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants too. Number 10, whole grain bread. Whole grain bread is another delicious source of plant protein, and while the amount of protein varies depending on the bread, hearty whole grains offer plant-based protein. And often we think of grains as carbohydrates, which is true. They do contain mostly carbohydrate. However, whole grain bread made from wheat and spelt and teff, and sometimes gluten-free grains, also contribute to your protein intake with plant-based proteins as well. So bread is a super versatile food, and you can enjoy a tempeh and veggie sandwich. You can have buttered toast with eggs and spinach, or make a whole grain crouton, or you can use whole grain bread as a vehicle for bruschetta. As you can see, there are endless ways to enjoy a variety of plant-based protein foods, and these are just a handful of plant protein foods. So if you're ready to create plant-forward recipes in your kitchen, I've linked some plant-based recipes in the show notes below, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one. I will see you next time. Take care.